Let's go through the process for posting a new story on TommieMedia. You can sign on to the WordPress dashboard through the TommieMedia site. If you don't have a sign-on for this, see me and I'll get you one. Click log on. And the dashboard allows you to view posts that are already on the site, so you can go in here and if you need to make corrections or something, you can do that. It also allows you to save them as drafts, and this is something you ought to consider if you want stories to appear in a certain order. If you have 2 or 3 stories and you want them to appear, one in the featured window, one in the news window, you can save them as drafts here and then post them in a certain order, and they'll appear in the windows where you want them to. Let's start a new post. And there's a few ways you can insert text. The way I like to do it is to go to the HTML tab and then open the story in Google Docs. Just copy it. And then go back to the post here and just paste it in like that. Make sure the email's at the bottom. You want that in there. Okay. And if you go to the visual tab, you see that it posted in there as plain text, so it's ready to go. Alright, next thing we want to do is write an informative title, and the title should have keywords in it. Remember that titles are important for search engine optimization. So, Olympics. Let's try this one. Okay, it's corny, but you can see what I'm getting at here, right? You notice it gives you a permalink there. Then the next thing on our checklist is to write a custom blurb for this, and or excerpt. And this is real important because otherwise it just takes the first paragraph of the story, and lots of times that's not going to tell you what the story is about. You need to write what the story is about in the excerpt. So just write something like this. Okay, and then we'll keep going down here and look at some of the other things. There are some custom fields that you can add, and we won't get into those now. One, though, I guess it is the credits. If you want to add any more credits to somebody's name, like if they're special to TommieMedia or something, you can do that there. And we're going to go down to the author and make sure you get the author. Otherwise, it'll be your name on there and not whoever wrote the story. So this one is Hannah Anderson. And then we'll go back up the side and pick our categories. So this is an opinions piece. I'll click it right there. Let's look at the news ones and the sports ones here. We have 3 categories for news, and the featured news is the main window. So if this were going in there, we would check that. And we also need to check news so it'll appear in the news digest page. Okay? All right, now when we do that, it's going to appear in both windows. And this is what I'm talking about. If you there's a couple things you can do. One is you can just check featured news, but then you should remember to come back and later and check news. And then whatever's in the news window will still be there. And the same goes for more news. If you check this one and this one, you need the news one checked. If you check them both, it's going to appear in both windows. Now the way around this is to post this one first and then post another story that's just news, and then there'll be different stories in there. The featured one or the more news has to be posted first. Then the next one after that, because it always puts the latest one in these categories. Okay, I know that sounds complicated, but something we have to live with. Okay, and then you can add some tags, and these are just words that people can search for, just like that. And then we can save a draft. And this allows us to put it in the post queue, and then, like I said, we can come back and actually post them when we want to and in any order that we want to. We can also preview it here, like so. We can see what it looks like. And let's add a picture to this. We can click right here. There's a couple ways to do it, but the best way is to switch to visual and put your cursor where you want the picture to appear. So right at the beginning. And we go up here to add an image. And then we can go from the computer or from the media library. Now, if you haven't uploaded the picture already, you can do that right now by clicking on from the computer. You can also click on media library and pick something that you uploaded previously. Let's go put one on in the computer, and I'm just going to click browse, and I have one set up here, and we just click browse and found it, and then we can upload it, and there it is. Now you notice we're getting a screen here that allows us to choose where we want, how big we want the picture, and where we want it, left or center. If you want it at the top of the page in the center, click that. And you notice that it won't let us click large because we've loaded this up this size. If you want, there's another way to put an image right at the top of the page, and I'll show you that in a minute. One of the things that I think we should do is try to put bigger pictures on the page so people can see them clearly. Now you notice there's no caption, and you want a caption for everything. So we'll put one in here. And make sure that the credit is in here. Like that, in parentheses. Like so. And then we can insert that into the post. And you can see how it looks here. Now, you notice we have it in the center. This looks ridiculous. So we can go back here. We just click on it and edit image. And now we can change it to, let's make it on the right side. Like so. And then click update. And now there's our picture. And again, we can save draft and preview and see how it's looking on the actual page here. Like that. Okay, so it's looking pretty good. All right. Now, a key question is this going to show up in our preview? And it will, if we have this picture in there. So what we can do then is, if we want, is publish. And unfortunately, there's no other way to see how it's going to look on the TommieMedia front page without actually publishing it. So there it is, and you can see the picture is shown up at the thumbnail and so forth. Now what I'm going to do, because this is a dummy post, is I'm going to go back and delete this post. So that's about it, and there's some other ins and outs with slideshow and so forth, and we can work on those as we go along this year, but that's the basic posting process.